And I should have went harder on that. I should have, as soon as I got the antidepressant argument, I should have just hammered that home.
No, you shouldn't have. You tried to hammer that home repeatedly, and every single time it blew up in your face. Not to mention, we just saw the clip the other day of you admitting to walking in on your girlfriend getting by another guy.
And so I saw her, I've seen her fuck other men, and it's just like, that was...
seen it?
Yeah, I saw it like literally...
You got cucked, my man. Why should I listen to you about masculinity and about how to get girls when you're a fucking cuck? Unironically, walking, living in the flesh. Cuckold Sneako. So as everybody knows, I recently had a debate with Sneako. Went pretty well, I think. I got a lot of positive feedback, which was really, really nice. However, I think that Sneako is now going full cope mode. I just so happened to run across his, 5th YouTube channel he has now before it gets banned, and he posted a video talking about me. More importantly, talking about me in regards to antidepressants. If you saw the debate, you know that he was oddly obsessed with me being on antidepressants. It was really, really weird. He kept saying, I can't talk about how to be happy if I'm on antidepressants or something, which one, I wasn't even trying to talk about how to be happy. And two, I actually can talk about how to be happy even if I'm on antidepressants. Yes. I think that, yeah, I see you chat saying he got absolutely destroyed. I don't think, yeah, he did get pretty wrecked. Even his own chat was saying that they're like, Sneako, you made this soy boy look good. Bro takes antidepressant meds and talks about Sneako is not helping men. Listen, if you take medicine, then how dare you? You know what? If you have breast cancer, don't you dare tell me about how harmful breast cancer is, okay? You fucking soy bot. Maybe get back to me when you stop having cancer. Fucking hypocrite. Sneako seems to be coping. He posted this video only a couple hours ago. Why antidepressants will never cure depression. Never. Literally never cure depression. And he's going to watch this video by Andrew Tate, Why People Are Miserable. I'm sure this is going to be incredibly insightful. Also, I mean, Sneako and Andrew Tate are incredibly popular. Maybe that's the reason why people are miserable. But anyway, yeah, let's talk about how antidepressants will never cure depression and how I can't talk about this because I'm on antidepressants. Basically, you can't talk about crime prevention unless you've committed a crime. That's pretty much the same logic.
This goes on to what I was talking about yesterday. I had a debate yesterday. And basically, it was with the soy boy who was talking about how he was on antidepressants. He said masculinity is a social construct, all this stuff. Go to therapy, take the pills. This is an old clip from Tate speech that pretty much sums up how you can defend that argument. And I should have went harder on that. I should have, as soon as I got the antidepressant argument, I should have just hammered that home. But anybody who's saying masculinity...
No, you shouldn't have. You tried to hammer that home repeatedly, and every single time it blew up in your fucking face. Not to mention, we just saw the clip the other day of you admitting to walking in on your girlfriend getting fucked by another guy after you said, when we go to this sex party, what happens here stays at this party, okay? You got cucked, my man. Why should I listen to you about masculinity and about how to get girls when you're a fucking cuck? Unironically, walking, living in the flesh.
You said something to the nature of whatever happens, happens.
What?
Yeah, so we go in there with the mentality that whatever happens inside that party just stays at the party.
Yeah.
And so I saw her, I've seen her fuck other men, and it's just that was...
seen it?
Yeah, I saw it literally right...
I can't be no bullshit. I want to start from the beginning. How did you came... so let's go, because I want to get into all that. That's fantastic stuff.
So I wanted to break this down, because this was...
He did get cocked. So he watched his girlfriend get fucked by another guy. Why should I take advice on how to be masculine from a cock?
Seeing the girl you love,
get fucked.
Get fucked.
You love her?
Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah, I love her. I was about to say I love this bitch. I'm like, no, let me not say that. I love my wifey, my queen.
And you allowed the love of your life to get fucked by another man.
What happened to the other man?
We went on 2 different occasions. The first time,
crazy.
The first time, as soon as I saw it 3 pumps in, I just got up and walked out. I'm just like, I can't.
Cuckold Sneako.
Should have, as soon as I got the antidepressant argument, I should have just hammered that home. But anybody who's saying masculinity is a social construct, it's I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me. You're just going to drain my energy in this conversation.
What? I love how different he is right here. We walked through the masculinity being a social construct at the beginning of the debate, and he more or less conceded my point. He acknowledged that masculinity has been different in the past, and that it's changed now. The only way it could do that is if it were a social construction, is if it were a result of humans interacting with humans. So the fact that at one point that was masculine, and nowadays not showing emotion is considered masculine, demonstrates that masculinity has changed, which demonstrates that it is a social construct.
Because you have one thing from the 16th century that you just read?
No, that's not just the one thing. Do we want to look back at ancient Greece? You know, small penises used to be a symbol of masculinity back then.
Yeah, they were also having gay butt sex in Greece.
That's irrelevant to what I just said. Do you
Pretty
acknowledge that certain aspects of masculinity have changed over time and throughout history?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can be steered and go off into the wrong things. But masculinity and femininity is parallel in every single animal kingdom.
He doesn't understand what he's even talking about. But okay, yeah. He had the debate with the soy boy, which is me, proud soy boy over here. And he should have hammered in even more that I was on antidepressants. Okay.
Construct, it's like, I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me. You're just going to drain my energy in this conversation.
In my experience,
I like also how he says that you're not going to convince me. Like, he's already made his mind up. I mean, I could be convinced if you actually gave a single compelling argument. I might actually be like, that's kind of convincing me here. That's interesting. I haven't thought about that. You've already made up your mind, dude. You're a bot.
in my experience, most people are actually miserable. Most people are sad, and most people are semi-depressed. Most people are unhappy. And when I say that, people go, no, they're not. Most people are actually really unhappy. They're unhappy with what they have. They're unhappy with who they are. They're unhappy with how their dream didn't come true. They all thought they'd be a millionaire when they're 21, and they're not. And most people are genuinely unhappy. If people were completely honest and completely blunt about how they feel at the time about themselves and their position and who they are, there's a difference between aspiring for more and being unhappy. Everyone aspires for more, but most people are genuinely semi-depressive and miserable. That's because we live in a capitalist world, and I believe that capitalism, one of the cogs that drives capitalism, is the fact that people need to be unhappy. They depress us on purpose, and they do this because if you're not depressed, you're not going to continue to work a job you hate, trying to save up for a Ferrari you're never going to afford. That depression is very, very important for the capitalist.
Wait, well, okay, so I thought he was going in a little bit more of a based direction there. So there is something to be said about capitalism draining people and demanding people focus so heavily on work and getting by, paycheck to paycheck, making money. That definitely can cause stress and can cause depression, yes. In fact, I think that financial stress is the number one leading cause of stress in America right now. But can we go back? Because then all of a sudden he just like lost me. He's like, they need us to be depressed? Why are we always back to they? Why is it always the they, thems, you know?
They depress us on purpose, and they do this because cogs that drives capitalism is the fact that people need to be unhappy. They depress us on purpose, and they do this because if you're not depressed, you're not going to continue to work a job you hate, trying to save up for a Ferrari you're never going to afford. That depression is very, very important for the capitalist system because it allows people to do things they don't want to do, hoping that money will one day make them happy, even though it never will. So most people are actually miserable.
Okay, so he's saying that they want to keep us depressed so that we can hold on to some phony dream that one day when we get money we'll be happier or something. Doesn't like everybody know that money isn't going to make you happy? Isn't that like a known thing at this point? Like, have you looked at the statistics, for example, that people who are financially secure are on average just as happy as people who are just ridiculously wealthy? It's just the financial security that makes people happier. It's not having a lot of money.
The people I know who are not miserable, the people I know who are not unhappy, who are genuinely happy with who they are and themselves and what they have and what they've achieved, are all super arrogant. Because I say this, people come to me and go,
Arrogance is a good thing to have. It's a good thing. It's not something that you should suppress. You should have a level of self-esteem. Everybody will call you a narcissist, try to bring you down. And they'll even say things like, maybe you should go to therapy. Don't let them tell you how to live your life, especially if they're taking pills that declare that they're unhappy.
So first of all, taking pills, quote unquote, does not actually declare that you're unhappy. Like, you realize that depression is an actual mental illness, Sneako? It doesn't mean that you're weak if you suffer from depression. And it's people like you that reinforce the idea that you are weak for struggling with a legitimate, medically demonstrated mental illness that makes the world a worse place. You make people more depressed. If they're depressed and they sit down and watch one of my videos, they're going to hear that, hey, you got to work hard to get better from depression. You can't just pop a pill and expect it to magically go away. However, you should also go to therapy and, if necessary, get on medication because that can help you get out of the debilitating stage of depression so that you can continue your efforts to achieve a better life. That is going to be a far better form of advice than whatever the fuck these red pill cucks give, which is just like, yeah, who needs pills, bruh? Just go outside, man. Have you ever thought about touching grass? Man, I did that and my depression just disappeared. It flew away, man, like a bird. They don't know what they're talking about. Also, arrogance is not a good thing to have. No, I think that he's conflating here. Define arrogant. Having or revealing an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities. Arrogance, exaggerating your own abilities, grandiose, that's not a good thing to have. And that could actually be narcissism also, by the way. Pointing that out does not mean that me, the evil soy boy who pops a billion pills every day, is out to bring the real men down. Rather, it means that you can have self-esteem and confidence without being arrogant. These are not one and the same. They're not synonyms, okay? You can be confident, you can have self-esteem, and you don't have to be arrogant. You don't have to be a narcissist in order to have confidence and be proud of your own achievements and have faith in your own abilities. I don't think he even understands the difference here. And I think that a lot of the problem here that Sneako's having is that he doesn't know what words mean.
Everybody will call you a narcissist, try to bring you down, and they'll even say things like, maybe you should go to therapy. Don't let them tell you how to live your life, especially if they're taking pills that declare that they're unhappy.
Also, I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. Not at all. People can live their lives however the fuck they want, so long as it's not hurting other people. But I am giving suggestions on how you might want to consider living your life. And if you're depressed, and if you're suppressing your emotions, then you should seek help for that. Then you should go to therapy to try and get better. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with taking medication. These things don't make you weak. These things don't mean that you're now admitting you're unhappy forever. In fact, recognizing that no matter what you do, you seem to feel unhappy is the first step in noticing and acknowledging the mental illness so that you can seek help. It's also not going to just be like, pop a pill, you're better. Go to therapy, you're better. Sometimes people need to try multiple different medications before they have positive results. Sometimes people need to go to multiple different therapists before they find somebody who really seems to be able to give them advice that's benefiting them. But again, kind of like what I said in my debate with Sneako, it's easier, it's more cowardly, it's fucking beta to just suppress it. Just suck it up, you know? Just give everybody the impression that you're really happy while you just internally struggle constantly. Just suck it up, dude. That's so much easier than actually confronting these feelings and these emotions and this possible mental illness and taking the steps necessary to recover from that. And not only is it more cowardly to just suppress this, it's also far more detrimental to your own well-being. Like, this dude says that I can't talk about these issues because I'm on antidepressants. Well, why the fuck should we listen to anybody who just suppresses their emotions, which makes it more likely that they're depressed, makes it more likely they'll act out in violence against women, and makes it more likely they'll fucking kill themselves? It doesn't make any sense.
You're arrogant, bro. You're arrogant. And when I read that, I think, yeah, I am arrogant. I'm arrogant because I'm a 4 times kickboxing world champion. I came from absolutely nothing. I grew up in a single-parent household in social housing. I'm now a multi-millionaire, a decimillionaire, a kickboxing world champion. I'm retired for life at 30. My mother's retired for life. My brother's retired for life. Anyone I care about, I can just throw money at. I have $1 million worth of cars. I live anywhere in the world I want. I do anything I like. So yeah, I'm a little bit arrogant, but I'm arrogant because I've earned all of this, and I'm happy with who I am, and I'm happy to sit down and tell everyone that I'm the fucking man. And I mean, I think that like a degree, again, of confidence and self-esteem is fine. Like, I don't know if what you're describing right now is arrogance, because having arrogance is an exaggerated sense of self, an exaggerated sense of self-esteem to the point where you feel like you're invincible, you're God. Being proud of your achievements, being confident because of your success, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Genuinely believe I'm the fucking man, and that's because I'm a happy, contented individual. And
that's why everybody said, like, he's just playing a character. He doesn't believe what he's talking about because he just didn't feel the need to suppress that self-esteem that everybody else is told that you're supposed to bring yourself down to be at the same level. That's a trick. That's a mental trick that they tell that you need to have so that you can fit in with everybody else.
all the people
I like, by the way, how he's complaining about suppressing certain feelings right now. And yet he is totally fine with men suppressing other emotions. You know, want to know something really interesting? Something that a lot of people miss? Emotions and feelings are 2 different things. I have used them interchangeably before. Virtually everybody, especially colloquially, uses them interchangeably. When you hear feelings, you hear emotions, you kind of think of the same thing. Emotions and feelings, however, are different. Emotions refer specifically to an actual biological component. So for example, sadness is one of the core and main emotions. There are actual chemicals or reactions within the brain that trigger that feeling of sadness. That's an emotion. A feeling, on the other hand, is purely conscious. It's just something that you experience within your conscious. And I heard somebody the other day, they sent me a message, and they said, Hunter, you said it was bad for men to suppress emotions, but you're over here saying that men should suppress aggression. Now, first and foremost, I don't know, aggression is not really an emotion or a feeling, but I think what they were probably talking about is anger. Something important to remember here is that, one, I'm not telling men to suppress their anger. There are ways that you can let go of that anger in healthy ways that don't require suppression. And second of all, anger is what is called a secondary emotion. So they're the core emotions, and then anger is a secondary emotion, which means that it stems from a more fundamental emotion. So if somebody's angry and irritable all the time, they aren't having an emotional problem of being angry. Most likely they're struggling with some kind of a form of depression or some other mental ailment, which is leading to anger. So one, nobody should be suppressing anger. You should be doing what you can to, while being healthy, of course, let go of that anger. Sometimes it's just walk away. Sometimes you need to just walk away, remove yourself from the situation, take some deep breaths, reel it in a little bit, and then go back and reassess the situation. That's not suppressing. You're acknowledging what you're feeling. You're stepping away and you're doing what you can to try and get past it. If you're really feeling angry to the point where you're actually feeling like physically aggressive, I don't know, go fucking hit the gym. Go work out. Go do something, Fuel that energy towards something productive. But yeah, I just wanted to make that really clear. Anger is an emotion, but it's a secondary emotion. It stems from a more fundamental emotion. So nobody should be suppressing anger. And second of all, if you are feeling angry, that's not the main emotion.
A lot of people are trying to correct your thinking in this world. There's a lot of people who are going to be out there trying to tell you how to think. But one thing you should never do is adopt the thinking of someone who is sad. The last thing anyone wants to be is sad. Do not adopt the thinking of someone who's semi-depressed and sad. I'm arrogant as fuck, but I'm also very happy. So if you're going to adopt my thinking, that might rub off on you. You might become a bit of an asshole, but you'll certainly be happier. Whereas these people out there going, don't do this, don't do that. These are the same people who have on their Twitter bio anxiety and depression. Do you want to think like them? Do you really want to live under that blanket of anxiety?
Well, hold on. Andrew Tate has a massive logical flaw here. He's assuming that the reason they have the anxiety and the depression is because of the way they're thinking about mental illness. That's bullshit. You haven't demonstrated that at all. It could very well be that people with mental illness gravitate towards the scientific literature that demonstrates the best move forward and the best form of thinking to try and improve your life when you're suffering from depression or anxiety. You're just assuming that the depression and anxiety stems from the way they are thinking. And you don't know that. You haven't established that.
Blanket of anxiety, depression, and unhappiness? Do you? Of course you don't. So don't listen to these morons. There's two very simple choices in my experience in the world. You have people who are arrogant and happy, because when you are happy, it's very natural. All of a sudden, when you're genuinely happy inside yourself, it's very, very natural for you to look in the mirror and think, I'm the fucking man, or I'm the fucking woman, whatever. It's gonna happen. There's no other output for happiness besides absolute self-love. And that's why happy people are arrogant. And the people who are humble or forget the celebrities, because they're all pretend humble. I'm talking about the real, in the real world. People who are humble and meek and all that bullshit. They're the most miserable people of all, so do not adopt those.
This is also really fucking stupid. Meek and humble are not synonyms, are they? You can be humble in a certain instance. You realize that sometimes humility takes strength. This is like one of the most two-dimensional views of like mental health and emotional well-being. This is actually sad. Why should I listen to you, Tate? I don't want to be an arrogant asshole who gets banned from every platform. Maybe I don't want to listen to you. It's just stupid. You need to assess the information given. You do not attack the messenger of the information. And it was brought to my attention after the debate. I wish I had brought it up during the debate, but do you know how many successful athletes have fat fucks as their coaches and their trainers? It's because at the end of the day, it's the information that is valuable. It's not from whom that information is being delivered in most circumstances.
Bottom line, just don't listen to anybody's happiness advice if they are on antidepressants. You wouldn't listen to a fat trainer. You wouldn't take him seriously.
He's doing it again. Oh my God. Holy shit. So one, that's an actual ad hom attack, okay? You're attacking the person's character rather than addressing their arguments. This is like the weakest form of argumentation. This is a beta cuck virgin way of arguing. This is the equivalent of me saying, hey, Sneako, you're sexist, so everything you say is wrong. That doesn't follow. What are you fucking talking about? I can be on antidepressants. Hell, I could be drugged up on ketamine. No matter how fucking drugged up I am, it's actually irrelevant as to whether or not the information I'm giving is accurate or not. You need to contend with the information, not with the person from whom that information is being delivered. And it's not that complicated. Anybody that has more than like 2 brain cells and an IQ over room temperature, sorry, Sneako, you don't qualify, would understand this. Obviously. You don't just ignore information because you don't like the person giving that information. I mean, yeah, there are plenty of football coaches, for example, that are fat as fuck. Look at this dude. He looks like he went to Dunkin' Donuts and ate the entire store. This guy's fat AF, but you know what? It doesn't matter because it's about the information and the coaching. That's what matters. But again, Sneako, negative IQ numbers here.
You wouldn't go to a doctor's office and hear heart medicate and get diabetic advice from a guy who's fat as fuck. So why would anybody...
You would! Absolutely you could! Holy shit, Sneako, you are dumber than I even thought. In your example, you just mentioned a doctor. The doctor has actually been trained. They've gone through medical school, dude. What? Somebody can go through medical school and have all the correct knowledge as to the most healthy way of living, even if they don't follow that advice to the T themselves. This is just cope. This is just coping. You see, rather than him acknowledging that some of my points conflicted with his fifis, he would rather just ignore everything I say because you take a pill. Like, okay, you're the one who takes fucking Viagra.
Who's going to therapy, let you hear their advice about life.
Champion, because I never once doubted myself. To this day, I don't doubt myself. I'd climb Mount Everest right now without training or equipment. I guaranteed I'd pull it off. Because I'm the fucking...
I have no idea, chat, like, how this interview is going to go, because I don't know. I'm trying to think, and let me know right now in the chat how I could ask him questions that he hasn't been asked before, stuff that I haven't talked about already with him on Tate Speech, and how to get a good back and forth, because we agree on so much that it's hard. I think I want to ask him a lot about the future and a lot about Islam and religion, because most of it is stuff that we pretty much have all talked about through these reactions through the Tate Speech already. But I want to make it new. I don't just want it to be repetitive stuff that we've all seen.
Maybe we shouldn't trust Hunter to perform the studies, but we can trust him to read the studies. Well, yeah, you can't even trust Sneako to read. So, I mean, hey, there's that. Also, I was kidding about the Viagra thing, okay? Is this really it? You take medicine, so what would you know? Really? Is that it? Come on, man. Isn't there anything else? Don't you have something else to say? To add? All you ladies out there with breast cancer, don't you fucking dare talk to me about ways to avoid breast cancer. Okay? Don't even start, because you have breast cancer. Checkmate, loser. Like, that's the same logic. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna take advice on how I'm bad because I take pills from the dude who fucking takes the red pill.